Hi, JamesAnimalHarrison. I'm back with Thursday Thoughts, number 8, apparently. And today we're going to talk about my first drum teacher, and that was Chuck Simons in Murray, Kentucky. Chuck was, actually he's on the wall behind me here, but this is a very, very old picture of him. Chuck was quite a character, quite an animated character, little guy, amazing brush player, one of the best brush artists I've ever seen in my life. And that's saying a lot because I've seen some of the best. But Chuck was a great guy, kind of took me under his wing and taught me a lot. And because Chuck's Music Center in Murray was next to a little restaurant called Hungry Bear at the time. Now it's not in the same location, but back then it was. And then Owen's Food Market, where my mom worked, I would ride my bike up there all the time and kind of hang out at the music store. And Chuck would, say, "Come on." And he'd take me next door to the little Hungry Bear. And I just order a Coke, and he would order coffee or something like that. And he would grab napkins and write down little lessons for me. He said, "Take this, go work on this," and stuff like that. So he would constantly, every time he saw me, give me something to work on. My understanding of Chuck is he's from the Roy Knapp School of Drumming up in the Chicago area and stuff like that. And but he was just a great, great jazz drummer. He wasn't necessarily into a lot of the rock stuff because he used to tell me, "I don't understand why rock musicians have to hit the cymbal and the bass drum together every single time." And I would say, "Well, it's to punctuate the music and get through it." But Chuck was more of a jazz drummer, and he just felt like you don't always have to hit the cymbal and the bass drum together. So anyway, after I moved away from Murray, I used to keep in touch with Chuck. I actually have a old typewritten letter here he sent me. I still have it. I kept it forever. Full of typos and stuff like that. And he signed off, "James, do well. I'm proud of you. Yours coolly, Charles Chuck Simons." And I have a brush book that he wrote and a couple of snare drum solos and stuff like that I've treasured forever. But part of this letter, what I really enjoyed about Chuck was he did a handwritten, I don't know, it's like 3 pages or so, a little handwritten section, and basically listed all these drumming influences of his and what they're known for and stuff like that. And so it's kind of like even like a little history book. And so I'm going to share some of this, and it's kind of hard for me to look at the camera because the light gets in my eyes, and then when I look away, I don't. It takes me a second for my lights to adjust. But he would write a drummer's name and then write something about them that was unique. He wrote down like Chick Webb, and he wrote master drummer, stick tosses, something about his hands. I can't read it. And he'd like list some tunes or something like that. Gene Krupa / Tom Tom, speeds, showmanship, and he lists sing. When he put Buddy Rich, he put genius, incredible ear, bass drum technique, drum cymbal player skills, just incredible skills. Max Roach, it's hard to read some of this, sorry. Bop, best known for bop with the hi-hat and set style jazz, melodic. Big synth catlet, bop / Dixie. A Wonderful Time, brushes and sticks. Cozy Cole, great swing and big band drummer. Dave Tuff, fine swing, big band drummer. Tommy Dorsey, Artie Shaw, Woody Hermans, last heard. Shelly Mann, legendary big band and bop drummer. Anyway, it goes on and on with all these kinds of things. you know, and he talks about different drums and stuff like that, press rolls, and he lists the best press rolls. Afterbeat talks about time, like the time that they would do. The way they a lot of the old jazz was before the hi-hat and whatnot. And he has best press rolls, Zooty Singleton, Ray Boddock, and I don't know if I've ever said that right or not. Baby Dodds, Ben Pollock, and he says, no hi-hats available early on, so the time was kept that way. And for brushes, O'Neill Spencer brushes, Joe Jones brushes, Gene Krupa brushes, Sid Catlett brushes, Chick Webb brushes. A hi-hat development, Joe Jones and Gene Krupa. So anyway, it's just like a little book of so many great things. And I've got several of his handouts that he used to teach at the college with and stuff like that. And I probably should have sat down with some readers, because as small as this is, it's very difficult to read, especially with the light on the camera. But basically, Chuck was just a great musician, a great guy, great character, and very, very animated. You know, I'd go in the store and he'd go, umgatz, umgatz. He used to say that all the time. Or I would say, Chuck, how much is this? And he'd say something. I go, really, that expensive? He goes, hey, man, I got to feed the babies. I got to feed the babies. You know, so, but, you know, he gave me more than I could ever repay him for, just in knowledge and stuff alone. Like I said, there's probably 2 or 3 books worth of napkins worth of stuff that he bought, or not that he bought, that he gave me when he'd write individual lessons and stuff on them. So, you know, you always have an affinity for your first teacher, and for me, Chuck Simons was mine. And eventually he passed me on to one of his top students at the college, which was a guy named Mike Ryan. And Mike Ryan became my second teacher and taught upstairs at Chuck's Music. Anyway, Chuck was just a master. And it was really difficult to get him to play sometimes. But then every now and then he would just sit down and play something. He would just go, because you didn't expect that out of him. But he could cut loose when he needed to. And very musical. And again, when it comes to brushes, I don't know that it would be difficult to say that I've seen anybody better. Obviously, you know, nowadays we all look at certain people and really equate them with brush playing. Jeff Hamilton would be one, as a leader and innovator of that style, and Big Pen, and basically all the great jazz players can all play great brushes and stuff like that. But Chuck was definitely unique, and definitely gave me my love for brush playing, which I don't get to do enough. I just haven't had the opportunity to do it. But when I do get called for, or get in a situation where I'm playing in a dinner restaurant and it's a jazz trio or something like that, I tend to play the brushes more than I ever touch the sticks. So I thank Chuck for that. I thank Chuck for so much, and for sending me so many different things, and imparting that knowledge on me. And I know some other drummers that he took under his wing and really developed their playing and whatnot. That same building now is, I think it's called Matt B's Pizza, and in Murray, and there's a plaque on the outside of the building that's dedicated to Chuck's Music Center, because it was a staple of that town forever. And like I said, I did a video about my first premiere drum sets that I had. They all came from Chuck's Music Center and stuff like that. So anyway, I can never repay them. I can only thank them. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Thank you, Chuck, wherever you are up in there. And I appreciate everything you ever did for me. And I've kept everything. And I love you, and obviously miss you. And I really appreciate it. Like I said, I still have the addressed envelope at the time. So, and so many more things that he gave me. So thanks a lot, Chuck, my first teacher. We all love our first teacher.